All right. Hello, everybody in the chat that's not here, who watches this later. What up? I will be playing in a second. I'm going to do a couple of things. Basically, mostly. Uh-oh. What am I doing here? Where are you? Okay. Get on Twitch. Okay. Pulling up my chat on my phone. Yes, it's on a mission failed screen. Sorry about that. Okay. So anyway, I'm waiting for anybody to get here. What's up, Bill? How's it going, man? I forget if you're watching The Last of Us or not. You're not, are you? I find that weird. Find that weird, Bill? Yeah, it's pretty good, man. It's pretty fucking amazing. It's pretty close to as perfect as a TV show adaptation for a video game could possibly be. Um, I had to call your mom to remind her to watch the show. Yeah. Yeah, well, there's a lot of important things going on in everybody's lives. But at least I hope she likes it. It gives her something to do, right? My dad would probably like it, except as soon as this episode came on, he'd be like, he'd see two guys kissing, and he would just, that would be it for him. Unlike me, she's actually played the games. All right. Oh, good for your mom. Sorry, buddy. Wow. It is really surprising. I never knew your mom was a gamer. After all this time, I don't know if you've ever brought that up. But So did the stream look okay? Did it sound okay? Were there like a lot of gaps? Because I noticed last week there was a lot of degradation in the middle of last week's stream where you could hear me, but it was going kind of south. But whatever. Like I said, I tried to explain at the beginning of the video. We're back to recording on our phones like I did a million years ago. All right, lag towards the end. As I can live with that. So whatever. Like again, that's exactly like the quality is exactly what the way it was back in the day, where it'd be all I can't even blame it. I can't even blame it all on my laptop, because when you hear certain things, no matter what, whether you're on your phone or on the laptop, if the sounds are the same, if the lags are the same, it means mostly I think it's caused by the internet connection. So can't blame my slow laptop for everything, but I can blame it right now because the way it doesn't want to load things up. It's kind of like I have to keep hitting refresh, refresh, refresh. Like, I mean, instant. Not like hit refresh and see if the website you're on is going to load. I have to hit it like 2 or 3 times to kind of get it to like literally process the information that I'm trying to get it to do. And I don't know what it is, man, but I've been getting nervous again. I have my notes and everything, and I just kind of I think what's so hard about talking about the show and staying like structured is that it's so good that I'm waiting for something to like maybe talk about that it's like, but it's just uh there's not enough negative to make it almost like an interesting review without me just basically kissing this, show's butt. But it's hard not to. And I don't even look at how many like people are watching it, because this is like one of the biggest things in the world right now. So if I didn't think anybody was going to talk about it besides me, this is not that show. So I have to just expect to just have fun doing it. And that's what's great about this, is I'm going to feel good at the end of the day saying, to myself that I managed to pull myself out from under a rock uh, to talk about the Last of Us show, and I'm hoping that before the end of the series is over, the season at least is over, I'll have uh, made some halfway decent videos about it. So when I watch it down the road, back myself, I usually listen to my videos like the next day or so, just to hear how I sound and what I actually had to say, and it doesn't make any sense and blah blah blah. It's not out of any kind of like smelling my own farts kind of situation where I just got to hear myself talk. Um, but I'm hoping that by the end of this I'll have like a really good video. I did try to recommend some people who were talking about why people don't like The Last of Us or The Last of Us Part 2. I told them, hey, check out my Last of Us 2 review, because I remember that playing that game and having some difficult times with it, I remember that struggle, being like, God damn it, I can't believe I'm still playing as Abby and all that stuff, and just like the journey I went on, we all went on, playing that game. Yeah, we see where Frank put his gun, and as a proper Chekhov's gun, we see Ellie find it there. Yeah, 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 yeah. But I really got to say, I think, um, hey Bill, I was wondering something then by what you're saying. It made me think of other things that you either watch or don't watch. And is it because of how bleak it is? Or did you already say something about that? You might have brought it up about the bleakness or the nihilistic maybe feelings. Because I remember we were talking nihilism when we were started watching Deadly Class. And by your comment there that the game asks a lot of the people playing it, is that why you're not watching, or is that part of it? Because one of the things I talked about in this video was the difference of bleak versus hope. Um, the bleakness of the game being carried over into the show, and whether or not, if you have the chance to show some hope, do you show that hope, just not just um, to do something different from the game, but to do something that's maybe necessary for the audience. I thought that was maybe kind of interesting. Oh, that's a valid response too, though, Bill. Getting rid of it because they got dropped a bunch of stuff, or they canceled a bunch of stuff. What did they cancel that you liked, just out of curiosity? Because the only reason I have it right now is for The Last of Us. Otherwise, I'd have dropped it already. And I'm mostly on here tonight in the capacity of just to really talk. I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna play a little bit, but not for ever tonight. Uh, just because I gotta be up and out the door at like 7:30 in the morning, which is not bad. I got still plenty of time to be up, but I've been going to bed a little early these days. Yeah, the show is definitely doing some of that with the grief porn. Yeah, like emotionally manipulative stuff. But it's like, since we already know that the story is pretty bleak, I feel like the more you're prepared for it, the better, you can handle it. But I think so far, like, I agree that as bleak as they want to talk about it, like, as far as the show goes, I don't think it's as bleak as other things out there. Um, I used to believe that love gave us all an edge, but maybe it's an impediment that clouds our thinking. Is that from the show? Is that a line from it? Did I not catch that? What's it from then, Dev? As I still sit on this mission failed screen. Oh. Well, I think of things that make no sense, that have like weird comparisons all the time. Oh. Well, Bill, we'll have to figure out how to get you a way to watch this eventually. I just hope you watch it eventually, Bill. Um, yeah, I don't know. I felt like I think my problem in this video was still staying on point. I kind of wanted to just hit right to the hard stuff, almost past, describing the whole video. I was struggling with like, how long am I going to talk on these streams, blah, blah, blah. So it's like trying to get everything out that I want. And I'm wondering if maybe I should just stick to that, of just being like, or maybe I shouldn't think about it that much and just enjoy myself, which is exactly what I'm doing. And I'm hoping that we didn't see Rena, because I think she had to go up north from where she lived to see family, or was it a funeral or something? I know she had something to do. Um, oh yeah, I'm trying to just be, like I said at the beginning of the video, since we're back to being, on my phone again. It takes me back to those days where I was just making stuff, do it yourself, really like I remember still using the phone when I was doing Sam Rockwell month and I was trying to figure out how to do different things and add different things on my own without learning about how to do it on a laptop since I didn't have one. And the fact that I was able to do so much like on my own back then like that, uh, and putting things together like I am now, where it's just like I'm using my laptop really quick to put together thumbnails and set things up, and then start promoting it, and then I do things on the phone instead, and it kind of sucks because I could I can see the chat, but I can't see it well enough to like be talking to you guys, which also sucks, but you know we make do. And I think, like I said, going back to the old way of doing things is kind of a reminder of why I did it in the first place. Being that person from then a little bit, the person who had that kind of spark. But let's face it, one of the reasons why I was doing what I was doing and in the first place was that I, needed it. So it was like my vim and vigor to get things done back then was kind of out of a necessity to uh, you know, put my back up against something. And yeah, I know you've been saying it, and I keep forgetting. I kept forgetting to talk about it. But yeah, that soundtrack is really great, and they're picking stuff. They're picking stuff that's just, uh, some stuff I know, some stuff I don't remember as well. Like as soon as they were playing that song, I remembered it, but hadn't thought about that song. I don't think I've ever thought about that song in my entire life. Outside of it was on the radio, it played, I heard it, but I didn't go looking for it either. Down the wrong pipe, everybody. Whoa. Mm. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, holy shit. Oh, ah. Typical, typical smirking reviews video. Oh, yeah, Depeche Mode. I mean, oh man, when Depeche Mode kicked on, dude, and I was listening to it on my headset at full volume, and there's that beat from that song, do 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 do, bow bow down now, bow bow down, like oh, there's something about great musical setups that there can be a song that I never listen to, but I'll know it from a song that I would normally never remember is the context that I use like from a movie or TV show. Um, I'm always doing that. Like somebody would say, "Oh, hey, such and such," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's from blankety blank." So I've learned that's one of the ways that I found so many songs and bands that I've never even heard of because I was seeing it on a show or TV when I was younger. Heck, I discovered My Morning Jacket from that episode of American Dad. I have to thank American Dad for helping me find My Morning Jacket. So I like that the show is like gonna have now. I'm gonna have new I have new context for songs that I didn't even remember how much I liked. Like, I've been listening to so much Depeche Mode since episode 1. I am not kidding. And I forgot how good Depeche Mode was. It is. I think they're still around. But let's see. Should we play a little? Oh, 80s new wave is the shit. 80s even into like some of the bands that came in from the 80s that still lasted a little bit into the 90s that are still around, like the Pixies. Fuck. But 80s new wave, like Depeche Mode, and like, I mean, well, depending on what category, like so many of these things are in different categories, but um, like The Cure, things like that. But also a lot of bands that like people don't know about, like that don't get enough credit. All right, so let's get ready to play, everybody. Does anybody want to talk more about The Last of Us before I play anything? Because I don't care. We can keep talking. Also, is that confirmed about Rena? Does anybody remember if she went on a trip? I believe she did. Well, I was a little concerned about that. In fact, there was like a little bit of back and forth eyeballing each other from me and my sister while that happened. And I mean, a case I think should be made that they need to show. There's two ways I think that this theme works. The first is this is her out in the world for the first time. She's not doing what she's supposed to, right? She shouldn't be going down there by herself. But she wants to be, and she kind of feels like, because she, like, Tess tried to tell her, you're immune to the virus, but you're not immune to getting ripped apart. But I think that also that kind of pushes her into dangerous situations, regardless of what somebody warns you. For her, maybe it's more like somebody telling you to, like, your parents let you touch the stove to find out that it burns you kind of situation. Except she doesn't have anybody telling her, anybody there to tell her to not do it. Um, so when she goes up to this thing, I think it's mostly out of curiosity, but um, okay, sure. Um, I also think that there's the unsupervised darkness, that people can have, like somebody who hasn't had anybody to. They're definitely doing a DLC episode. At least combine. It's probably going to be handled just like they did with this one. I think it'll be a bookended kind of thing with the Left Behind story taking up the brunt of it, and that'll probably be a longer episode too. I'm thinking, um, but I also think that she cut it just to see if it's to not just for her to see, but I think the audience still it helps the audience understand a little bit too. Like these look like people. Like you on The Walking Dead, they're walking around with flesh and blood still. So you blow their fucking heads off, brains go everywhere, right? And there's probably still brain matter in there, right? A little, but just like they've shown before when the lady cut the one part and you could see that it was just the fungus in the what was it, the leg or the foot or something like that she cuts in the lab in episode 2. And I liked having that information that when she cuts his forehead, it's the fungus under there. Like this, I think it's a good way of showing even more that these aren't those people anymore. Like it's wearing them like a suit, basically, you know? It's taking what you were and reanimating you and letting you walk around. So I don't know. But I'm glad you brought that up. Because I don't know what the problem is. Why anybody'd have a problem with that? Again, the biggest problem is going to be people sitting there watching Ron Swanson in bed with a dude. That's what's going to happen, and they're going to call it woke. They changed it. They changed the game for their woke agenda. Oh, there's gonna be but look, Neil Druckmann, Neil Druckmann didn't shy away from anybody when he made The Last of Us Part 2, right? So, and the more that I think about The Last of Us Part 2 and how it all went down and like thinking about the themes of the show or the series in general, that there's no heroes here. there's just people making choices. And the other part being that it's just people killing people like we've always done. Like the cycle just keeps repeating, showing this person did this to that person, so this person does that to that person, and then somebody that person has somebody that cared about them and wants to kill them, and it's like how this cycle just keeps going, and it's like you're in this game where you're supposed to be worrying about infection and infected. And really, again, it's the old we're the monsters, but like how much more, like how that just becomes like the greater part of the story, really. Um, but I have a better appreciation now for The Last of Us Part 2 just from like watching this show and really understanding, thinking about those themes a lot better. Um, yeah, it's pretty great storytelling, and again, from a storytelling and character standpoint, this show should be. I'm glad it's as good as it is, and I'm glad that it's getting the recognition. I'm glad more people are finding the game. Um, but yeah, like you're saying though, like I'm if you're not gonna be picky where you find love and comfort. Um, no, like I said, I don't know what if I was somewhere with only one other person for 20 years. Let me tell you something though. I can guarantee you that it would take years, everybody. And I don't mean that in like some scared way, but like everybody has their limits, right? It happens to guys in prison all the time, not by choice all the time, right? But yeah, I mean, if you find somebody and you love them, like who's to say what would happen? I can't say what would happen, you know? Biology isn't everything, right? You can't help who you love. I mean, look, I've anyway, I don't know. Yeah. Seriously, sometimes it just happens. Oh, you guys, we have fun. So anyway, Dead Space has been fun. I would be playing that right now, but it's uh it's a lot. I don't really feel like getting too amped up.
Activating combat mode. What's the matter now?
I was looking for materia, and now I'm late for my assignment!
I see. But where's your sword? Don't you need that too?
Ah!
Ever the restless puppy.
You're in for it now!
Prove your honor to me.
I got it!
Oh wow, they've taken away all my efficiency?
Gotta love this! Heads up! Taking you down, that's enough! How about this? The end!
Oh,
Warm-up's over!
Prove your honor to me.
Here we go! Gotta love this! Bye now! That's enough! Taking you down, this is gonna sting! You're in for it now!
Concentrate.
I'm feeling it! Here we go! Oh no you don't! Taking you down, this is gonna sting! Bringing out the big guns!
Prove your honor to me.
I got it! Take that!
getting in like right to the center of all those dudes is crazy.
Warm-up's over! Take that! Brace yourself!
Prove your honor to me.
Oh, somebody actually used something on me. Wow. Look at that. Not sure how many rounds I've got to do this.
Bringing out the big guns.
Is this the end?
No, not if I can help it. Bye now. Don't you think it's about time you use that sword of yours?
This sword is heavy and unwieldy.
Then why don't you bring a lighter one? Warm-up's over.
Prove your honor to me.
What, you can't sleep? Yeah, I was just thinking about the past.
The past, huh? You want to talk about it?
Thanks, Zack, but we've got to get some sleep, so good night.
Good night.
You're in for it now.
The power of soldier.
All right, here comes the big one.
Yeah, right. What? I wonder if that's what happened to me the last time. That doesn't seem right, you know? After all that. Oh my gosh, that really bummed me out. After all of that, I just got killed. I lost all of that. I bet you I'm level 36 still. Yep. I'm back to be level 36. No! Not that that's a bad thing or anything. But I also lost all those... I think I lost all those DMWs. I haven't opened... I haven't got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We haven't even gotten the Phoenix one to open once. And there is one Aeon that I don't have. One Summons I don't have. I wonder which one that is. Well, anyway, how long have I been? So, I guess that's gonna be really pretty much it for me. I was hoping that I was gonna beat that, and I didn't. So, I don't, I would say, well, they put a date on there, right? But I don't remember. He said August, right? They said it was August, so maybe I think it was like September. But remember, the first part of the game is summer, right? Or is it fall? It's like summer, fall, winter, spring, right? In the game, the first game. So I don't know if we can really say that they've been going all the way into fall, but it looks like they were probably at the tail end of summer in the first place to realistically take as long as it took. So I'd say it's fall now, so I'm thinking it's like August, September kind of situation for the game, or for the show, but I'm not 100% positive. At Scavenger Birds, yeah. Well, would they? Yeah, you're right. Well, I'm glad they didn't show it. I honestly liked how they just kind of panned back just far enough into the windowsill, past the windowsill, kind of like that windowsill shot at the beginning of, in the game menu, a little, of like just inside somewhere looking out, just, we know what's in that room. Yeah, they did. But I'm glad they didn't show it. Because the way he was talking in the letter kind of lets you know, like, he's like, I'm sure we don't look that great. I'm sure that how you found us was not, in the state that we're of decomposition and whatever that we're in, But at least they were able to tell them, like, we didn't die from infection or getting killed. Yeah. So I guess we'll end up playing this game another day. This really was just an excuse to get on and talk some more with y'all and make sure we all keep in touch. This is that night, like Critical Role. I'm closing on Thursday night, so I'm working all day, so it's hard for me to do the Critical Role thing all the time now and stay up for it. But we're working on that. So this is kind of like our community, our little group's night together. So trying to increase that, because I was playing earlier today and that was nice. And even though nobody was here for the Al Pacino part of it, I hope you guys watched enough of that video to hear me talk about impressions for some damn reason. But I think that's gonna be my ranking for these 3 episodes. Is number 1, episode 2, number 2, episode 3, number 3, episode 1. Honestly, number 3 would be this one, number 2 would be the second one, number 1 would be the first one. So actually 1, 2, 3. It's not that I've disliked them. It's, the first one's a classic. The first one's what gets you there. The first one's what opens the door and sets up everything. The second one, while it had infected, none of the episodes, like 3 has that punch to it. I guess I would say 1, 3, 2. But see, 2 has the death of Tess. And the way that they handle the death of Tess. And that whole thing, where I do hope we get to see something from Joel's past, more of Joel's past with Anna Torv. I think that would be fantastic. I think this is it would be an opportunity to flesh out more of Tess and Joel's relationship and why it's so important to him, like how he doesn't talk about his daughter, and now he doesn't talk about Tess. And I would love to see their dynamic a little bit more on the show, but I'm being selfish, just as an excuse to see more Anna Torv. But yeah, 1, 3, 2. and I really wanted two to be. That's hard. But as far as if you're going for dramatic effect, it has to be 1, 3, 2. Infected though, really, the tension in the second episode, man, the fucking clickers and everything about it all works. So if we're going by dramatic effect, it's 1, 3, 2. But the first time that, like when he was checking his gun for ammo in the second episode, and he just turns his head, and you already know it's gonna be there, but it didn't change that much how scary it was. When the light hits that thing's face from where he's like around the corner from it, just around the corner from it, that is straight up shit you would never want to turn your flashlight onto. You know what I'm saying? If you ever would die of fright, that's the kind of thing that would kill you from fright. If you just saw that standing there, like, it doesn't even see you. You don't know that, right? You wouldn't know that. But if you just saw that, man, that would be an excuse right there for your heart to just crack open, like literally, and just like everything inside you just shut off. Because that's the kind of situation where you don't know whether to shit or go blind, you know? And that worked. I mean, it worked so well for me. Everything in that second episode of like how they handled clickers, I just the horror that you feel, like, it's one thing to be taken aback and scared if a person's coming at you, right? But they're all but they're familiar. So even though people can easily miss with a gun at close range on, from someone rushing them, it can happen. You're less likely to have the same mind, the same. It would be a different experience, than a clicker. This unknown monstrosity that doesn't follow, like that's not human, but was human. And now it's charging at you with the reckless abandon, because that's one of the great things about the clickers is how they just like their movement. It's not human movement. There is no hesitation in its movements. It just goes. When the one that was chasing Joel and Sarah through the like restaurant or whatever, and it just slams into all the tables and trays and shit, just because it's not guided by thought, really, other than something's over there that I need to infect. And they did that so well, like when they were trying to shoot them, and it's so off, like it's so what's the word I'm looking for? Alien, I guess, in a way. Like you're just so disoriented by the whole thing. Like, what is happening that you'd be more apt to fuck up your shots? It's just so as far as like all that goes, this is right now hard to pick like that. But when it's all said and done, I mean, who gives a shit? It's so good to finally have a good show. We haven't had it hasn't been that long since Better Call Saul went off the air, but long enough. Yeah, so I haven't really felt, and Better Call Saul, honestly, it's apples and oranges. It's completely different genres and tones and things like that. Even if Better Call Saul has got like some pretty dark stuff happening sometimes, it doesn't hit the bleakness and darkness of The Last of Us. But it's so good to finally have something to be excited about that's like better than the hype for it. As excited as so many people were, it's better than that. And that's such a welcome. So it's just like, it's so great to be able to go, to turn something on and know that you're not going to be disappointed. You know, I can't say that all. You used to be able to say that. You know, we used to be surrounded by shows between 1999 and say uh, around 2014, 2015, 20, you know, like 16. I think some television has been on the decline because of streaming and canceling of shows on streaming and things like that. How do you get behind something uh, when they just cancel it? You know, I used to get mad at Fox back in the day for canceling shows left and right and here and there, or keeping a show on long enough for you to get really attached and then just chop it off without an ending, with shows like Dark Angel and things. I remember that, or you know, so it was used to being on TV, but then streaming services came out, you know, and it seemed like shows that were on there were doing pretty well. And now it's just, if the algorithm doesn't see growth, you're fucked. You know, and at least with a show like The Last of Us, you know that HBO is just going to, it's going to have a beginning, middle, and an end. Like they're going to finish this. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about whether it's going to get canceled. So there's that. I don't think we're going to get to The Last of Us Part 2. I don't know. I'd like to say it's even money right now, that it's going to be. I'd say it's 50-50 that they finish the first game this year. But I know there's a confirmed season 2. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's 50-50 that they make the second season Last of Us Part 2, or we get a continuation of this expansion of the first game. I would like to see them do the best version of this show. That's all, right? All I want is the best version of this show, of this game, that we can turn into a show. If they can do it in one season, great. If they've got a story to tell that will take 2 seasons, great. But it also would be like something that someone like Pedro Pascal might be interested in, right? As far as doing another show, because he's already doing The Mandalorian, right? And he's got a great movie career. So doing another show might be as successful as it could be, and it is right now, if he knew going into it, if they say, look, Pedro, the character dies in like the first episode of the second season. Be like, oh, okay, I'm down. You know, I'll show up here and there in flashbacks and things like that, but I'm gonna have less to do in the second season, you know, unless they do stretch it to a third, you know, to the third season being The Last of Us Part 2. But you know, I don't know. He's a fan of getting mad too, yeah. But there is the third game is guaranteed pretty much. I just wish that Naughty Dog was capable of working on more than one game at a time. Now, saying that, I understand that at least when they make a game, it's quality. And if they were to work on two games at once, it might reduce the quality in the games. And if that's the case, then never mind. Fuck what I'm saying. But I do still wish, I'm greedy, that I want to see what the next step of Naughty Dog's journey is. Are we going to get another Uncharted? Are we going to get Uncharted with, like, say, you know, Nathan Drake's daughter, which I think is absolutely what's going to happen. I think Uncharted's going to come back and Nathan Drake is going to be more like Sully in the Uncharted games. And I would also say that in the new Uncharted games, I think a basis of the game would probably be that Sully dies and there's like some adventure that he that he was on when he died, and it's going to be a father-daughter adventure to solve Sully's like big treasure mystery thing. That's what I think that they should do when they bring Uncharted back. But I'm still hoping that beyond belief, like beyond reason at this point, that I'll somehow get a new Jak and Daxter game. For like, I don't care if it's a reimagining of the whole thing where they look more realistic instead of cartoony. I don't give a fuck. But I would really, man, even if they just like did, can you imagine if they did PS5 versions of, and not like just remasters, but like completely upgraded graphics for all the Jak and Daxter games? Holy shit. But if they were to make a new game, I would really appreciate that, because Crash Bandicoot gets to keep making games. But Crash Bandicoot is no longer Naughty Dog, so that's a whole different animal. So maybe what Naughty Dog should do is let Jak and Daxter go to a secondary studio, maybe. Maybe the studio that worked on the remasters or something makes a new Jak and Daxter game. I don't know. Somebody just make it. Please, for the love of all that's holy. But, you know, the times, they are a-changing. The times are always changing. So if we never get another Jak and Daxter game, at least I can say that I got a bunch of really good Jak and Daxter games to remember. All the way up until my untimely end. Somewhere, hopefully, very long down the road. This has been such a weird video. I'm loving it. This is our continuation of... We played like 5 minutes of a video game and talked about all this other shit. This is why I've been opting to like think about taking... Yeah, I was going to say, I think I'm going to export it over to... export it over to YouTube. I don't know what I'll call it. I should maybe try to get like a different... Here we go. Like if I can get like a couple more combat shots in here or something, maybe the thumbnail that it'll create for the for the video will be cooler if I've got some more actual footage to show instead of just him in front of a fucking save.
Activating combat mode.
Oh shit, he just killed me. Alright, we're gonna try this again.
Activating combat mode.
Out of the way.
Okay, he did it again. The failed mission, yeah. Well, then that's where we're gonna end it anyway for tonight, everybody. We're gonna leave it on the failed mission. How we came in is how we're leaving tonight. So I hope you all have a good night. I hope you enjoyed our continued conversation. And yeah, for anybody who watches this later on, this is what Smirking Rob Plays can be sometimes. So have a good one. Night, everybody. I'll see y'all later.